I'd like to really thank the TED organizers for inviting me here to speak. I'm a massive TED fan, so it's like walking through the looking glass being up here. I'm going to tell you about a chapter, a story from my life that has affected me profoundly, has affected my friends and family really profoundly, and has gone on to touch the lives of millions upon millions upon millions of people in, I think, quite a cool, lovely, jolly way. The story has a bit of an odd start. It began when I noticed that Robert, who's actually here in the red hat, you can see him over there, he did something which I thought was pretty cool. When he wanted something, what he would do is he would call up the people responsible for that thing. And that thing could be as varied as a toaster for his kitchen or a pair of tickets to the Rolling Stones. And he'd have a phone call conversation with those people, and that conversation would be very bubbly, very light. He wouldn't tell any lies, wouldn't raise his voice, no false promises, really, lovely, bubbly conversation. And at the end of the conversation, invariably, they would give him the thing he wanted for free. And this kind of blew my mind. I thought, that's really cool. Yeah, isn't it? Right? And so I watched him do this over and over again. I asked him if he would do it for me and some of my friends, and wouldn't you, right? And until eventually I thought, wait a minute, would you take a minute to teach me and my friends how on earth you do that? And luckily for us, he agreed. So he came to the little cottage we lived in at the time, and he gave us a lesson. Now, I started calling him the phone whisperer, like the horse whisperer, the ghost whisperer. So, in fact, we've even got our own little laminated badges. And so he gave us what would be the first ever lesson in phone whispering. And he described to us what we would come to refer to as the phone katas. Katas are like stances in Kung Fu, or so I'm told by combat people. But he was explaining phone katas to us. And at the end of the lesson, he threw a phone directory down on the table, and he said, pick a number. So we did. It was a local pizza company. And he called up that pizza company, and he had this incredibly lovely conversation with the guy at the end. Lord knows what he thought, right? And at the end of the conversation, they agreed to send him a pizza for free. So we sat there like lemons for half an hour until the doorbell rang and the pizza guy came. And he handed over this pizza, and there was this kind of heavy moment that kind of hung as we all kind of watched the door. And the guy, normally you'd be handing over money for the pizza, and the guy just gave him a double thumbs up, said enjoy the pizza, and left our lives forever. And left us with this pizza. And it kind of just, it totally flipped us out. We were like, this is incredible. So in the months that followed, we attempted to emulate this and exercise the phone katas. And we were rubbish, let me tell you. It took us a long time, a lot of people hanging up on us. Till eventually, bang, I got a pizza. And a bit like the monkeys that break the nuts. Yeah, you're liking that. And then once I got a pizza for free, my mates, bang, everyone got pizzas for free. And I remember we got a map out, and our house was there, and all the places that deliver things to us, we're phoning them all up, and food was coming every night, every lunchtime, free food, thank you very much, thumbs up, away you go. It was incredible, and we felt pretty good about ourselves, because this remarkable thing was now happening for us. We went from food to a concert, so we started phoning up people who ran the opera, the ballet, football matches, rock concerts, nightclubs. So we were eating for free, we were going out for free, and we were kings of the world, and this was incredible. Then one day we decided to see how far we could push this, and the furthest we could imagine pushing it was, could we get someone to give us a free flat-screen 52-inch plasma television? Boys, right? So we were like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get a flat-screen television because there are thousands and thousands, much more money than we'd ever comfortably be prepared to pay. So I remember the day really vividly. We started at 9 a.m. We were calling companies. And by 5:30, we spoke to a lovely guy who actually agreed to send us a free flat-screen 52-inch plasma television. And boy, did I get off that call quick, like it was going to explode. And it was a Friday, so we had the whole weekend to chew our nails and go, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Should it happen? Will it happen? Could it happen? Till eventually, Monday morning, this box arrived, and it had a 52-inch flat-screen plasma television, and we just lost it completely. You've never seen a group of grown men jumping up and down. It's a television, oh my word! We just kicked open a door to a room in the universe that we didn't even know existed 5 minutes earlier. It was incredible. And our lives changed. Suddenly, what we ended up doing with our life was at 9 a.m. in the morning, we'd be on the phone, and we'd be making phone calls. While one of us was on the phone, the rest of the team would video that guy. while I was on the phone or anyone was on the phone, invariably 3 or 4 times a day, the doorbell would ring and the swag from the days before from all the companies we've been calling would start rushing into the house. At the end of the day, 5:30, offices close. We would sit down to watch the videos of ourselves making calls so we could develop the katas. And we got really, really good at it. And the stuff started to pile up high in our house and all kinds of stuff. Fish tanks, massage chairs, stereos, PlayStation, you name it. We were watching the telly, we'd see a nice advert, we'd be taking notes. That looks good, we'll have some of that. What about 5 of them? It was madness. During that period, we were sat around the kitchen table and we started having, I guess, a philosophical discussion about the nature of good and karma, the kind of stuff that you guys have been hearing in the rest of this TED series. You know, is karma a really good idea, or is it true that good guys always finish last? And while we were having that discussion, we looked around the room and we realized that we were in a pretty unique position that mainly, I guess, only millionaires find themselves in, that we could conduct a kind of experiment and be extraordinarily kind to people and do things that we couldn't have done months earlier, and to kind of test drive some of these kind of theoretical ideas that we were talking about around the table. And it was at that moment, I guess, that slowly the phone whisperers, as we were, started to evolve into the kindness offensive. And we went out one day into a local park, and we stopped strangers, and we had conversations, and we said, what could we do for you? And people gave us a wide variety of wishes. One guy wanted a red electric guitar. One little girl wanted a box of chocolates to give to her grandmother. My favorite was this guy, Chris, and he wanted a birthday party for his daughter who was turning 11. We went home, that was a Sunday. Monday, we started making calls, as we had done for months and months and months prior to that. This time, with a twist, we were doing it for other people. By the end of the week, we'd secured all 18 things that these people had wanted. My favorite personal one was Chris, the guy who wanted a party. We actually talked the Moscow State Circus into handing over the circus to us for the whole day. And that meant they got to juggle with the clowns in the morning and walk the high wire and all that stuff. And then they all had ringside seats at the performance in the afternoon. We're kind of watching this, and it kind of dawned on the group that normally people talk about running away with the circus, but in a very real sense, the circus had run away with us. And over that period, we had all these things to give to these people, and we went and met them. We were handing them over, and something kind of weird and unexpected started happening. It kind of warmed our heart, and people started crying, and there were hugs. Oh gosh, okay, the horn's just gone off. What that means is that presents are going to start being delivered into the auditorium. Now, these presents, a little bit about them, they're freely given to you. They're given by Bosch Home Appliances, who are part of the fun. They're actually helping to give stuff away. Please help pass them along from the sides into the middle, and please open them here and now. This is live, this is your life. These are not to take away unwrapped, yeah? So unwrap them here now. If you like them, keep them. If you have a loved one, give them to the loved one. Start ripping paper, people. Come on now. Sorry. Or if you really don't feel you got your value for money out of TED, then by all means take them to eBay and sell them. The reason we're doing this is because I wanted to share with you something of the anarchic fun joy that we experienced that day on the hill. Also because there's a lot of people who talk about kindness and niceness, but they don't actually do anything about it. What they'd like you to do is hear their rap, and then they'd like you to give. And there's something a bit disingenuous about that. And I hope now you start to feel something of what we felt on that day. I kind of feel that not doing something would be a bit like giving a talk on ice cream. You could talk for 6 months about ice cream. You could talk about the different flavors of ice cream. You could talk about how you deliver ice cream. You could talk about the branding on ice cream. But if no one had any ice cream at an ice cream talk, you might end up leaving feeling a bit shortchanged. So this is your ice cream, and enjoy it, I hope, right? What I'm going to tell you now is what happened to us after that day. Hey! I'm going to start asking you to cheer when the horn goes off, because that means, yeah! Lovely, lovely. After that day, we realized that we'd stumbled on something that was incredibly fun and joyful. And we wanted more of it. And we went from being 4 guys to being 14 guys. Help them out, guys. If you see the people with presents, please grab one from them and pass them along. It's a team sport now. You're all being co-opted into it. I'm sorry about that. This is no longer passive for you guys. We went from being 4 to 14 to 40 to 400 to 4,000 to where I stand today as part of the largest creators of random acts of kindness. We went from people with individual items to give to individuals, to having dozens of items, to having boxes of items, to having vanfuls of items, to having, thank you very much, to having lorries full of items, to where we play today, which is warehouses full of stock that take hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, days and days and days to wrap like you've got the gifts here and deliver to people. We realized as well that the art form of phone whispering and the idea of having fun with kindness could be applied to things that are less frivolous than this, and we could actually tackle... Way to go, Ted! I love it! We found that we could actually tackle some serious issues. And since we started, we have actually fed well over 2 million people. We have provided a toy for every single child in a London hospital, as well as all the orphanages and most of the kids' charities who deal with underprivileged children in London for 4 years in a row. More recently, we've taken over a space in central London where we are giving away 100,000 books to some way address the library issue and the literacy issue that's sweeping the country. When they invite you to TED, they ask you to come up here and say something that has the potential to change the world. And that's probably why I love TED so much, because the bar is so high. But it kind of freaked me out when I was getting ready for this. So I thought to myself, what could I possibly share in the way of lessons? I don't know if you can all see your faces. What could I possibly share with all you that could potentially change the world? Well, I boiled it down to two things. When we started the Kindness Offensive, we were a group of guys... Whoa, they're hitting me now. When we started the Kindness Offensive, we were just a group of guys with a telephone. And in the 6 or so years that we've been running, despite the fact we occupy several locations, have a fleet of vehicles, and are giving away over £5 million worth of stuff, we are still just a group of guys with a telephone. We're not a charity, we're not a business, we're not a church, we're nothing official at all. And I share that with you because I find that a lot of people who want to do good things have what I've come to refer to as the excuses list. I haven't got time, I haven't got money, I'm not part of a big organization, I've got no experience doing that kind of thing. And I hope that this demonstration and our story might serve to inspire you when you come up against your own list of reasons why you can't play on the big stage. You can, and we're evidence of that. The second and last thought I'd like to share with you... Come on down. When this topic is discussed, there's a lot of reasons given for doing good things. We tell youngsters that if you volunteer, you can build your CV and you'll get a better job. There's a lot of religious people who'll tell you that you've got to do good things because there's a sky daddy watching and you're going to get a place in some mythical afterlife. And I'm not knocking anyone for doing any reason why you might do a good thing. If a good thing gets done, that's a lovely thing. But one of the things that's not said a lot, or at least I've not heard it said a lot, is that being kind and altruistic can actually be a lot of fun. Selfish, good, rewarding fun. So my hope is that you might go away and in your own lives try to have some fun with kindness. I'm going to invite all the team up on stage here because I feel remiss taking this bow on my own. Thank you. Have fun, think free, be kind, keep it surreal. Live long and prosper. Thank you. Woo! Everybody give them a wave! Peace out, TEDx! Thank you! I want to see this. I hope you've enjoyed that. Enjoy your gift. Have a great day, guys.